States of America, the Republic for which one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Okay, roll call. All of the AAC members are here. Yay. Public comment. Chris, do you have any comment? Thanks for being here. Approval of minutes from December 16th, 2020.
Been informed I'll have those for you to sign after the meeting.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the meeting or the minutes?
Sam, I motion to approve the minutes.
Craig Holmes, I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Mooring field and staff report.
Mooring field's starting to fill up. We're starting to fill the front of the field up, looking pretty good. Had to relocate a couple boats to the back that were not being occupied. Pump out services online are working great. We have a few bugs and hiccups, and people are just kind of getting adjusted to the new way of checking in online, and kind of running through them, because a lot of people are wanting to do just rescheduled pump outs for like the month or whatever. They want pretty much a pump out every Wednesday, so they've got to go on and fill out the forms for future. We're working out those issues as well. The systems are all due for inspection and cleaning. We're going to start on those next week. We do have some new systems that we're going to be putting in, along with some extensions that we will be updating as well that go down. We're having shifting in the sand bottom, so a lot of the systems are getting buried. So we're having to put extensions on the anchor heads to bring them up out of the sand banks. But other than that, I mean, everything's running pretty smooth. The dock was still having a couple issues with, but we're working through them. And everybody's just getting adjusted to that. But that's about it on the staff report. No major issues at the dinghy dockage. The water seems to be working good. We have contacted DOT about the seawall over there. We're having a couple issues with the seawall and a couple washout areas, but it is a DOT seawall, and we're waiting on response from them to get
Just the updated
kind of explanation on replacement of the seawall there. But other than that, anything you want to add, Chelsea?
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Chelsea O'Reilly, Public Works Director, via phone. Let me know if you guys can't hear me, but just on this item, we did implement the tax through DACWA. Thank you, Chris. I know he's there in the audience for helping get that implemented fairly quickly and easily. So there should be little to no change. The end user should not see little to no change. Like Austin said, we are having some issues with DACWA that, we're just trying to resolve as they, come up. Very fortunate that the public is patient with us. We're in month 4 of having this system implemented. So, and things have changed, things have come up, it's a learning process. So that's pretty much it for that item.
Chelsea?
How about Chelsea for any delinquencies?
We have one vessel that we're pursuing that is still delinquent with the town attorney. Austin, correct me if I'm wrong. Is that just the one?
Yeah, we do have one. One was removed by the owner, and I believe he did pay in full. And then another one was broke free and reclaimed by the sheriff's department. So they have tagged it, and they're working the case on.
Boonraker?
I wonder, the law will, I wonder if there is any set date when we will receive the usage and income statements. We have been missing them since several months. And it seems to me, even though we no longer have in our committee duty financial oversight, it seems appropriate to let us look at the usage on a regular basis and the income in order to compare them as we have for the last several years. I wonder if we can be given a date specific to start receiving this information and date specific to receive the information we have missed for several months.
Volunteer to contact our new finance director. I think he's still getting his feet on the ground, but I will contact him and ask him if he could supply us.
And to echo that, Ed, if you could email me exactly what you're looking for. I know finance is in the middle of audit right now, but I can, if you send me an email, I can forward that along to the finance director and just kind of explain the history of this committee and the numbers. That way he can get a handle on it and start to get some numbers out to you all.
Okay, thank you, and I'll send the format as well.
Also, when he has, I requested it last time, we used to always get a fiscal year-end report.
Kathy, if you could add that to, or send me an email with that, I'll pass that information along.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, we'll go on to expansion of the mooring field update, and I had a discussion with Chelsea last week, and she can hop in and if she needs to add anything. And she had also sent me that we're waiting for the DEP permit and is for that. And also wanting to make some applications for grants, which is why this harbor management plan was sent out. Is that correct, Chelsea?
Yeah, and I can clarify for just so everyone understands, there's an order of things that have to be accomplished. I know Randy's printing out the updated harbor management plan that reflect your comments, Kathy. So just so we're clear, I'll run through the steps real quick so everyone understands. I know that there are plenty of other issues that need to be resolved in the harbor management plan, but the implementation of the expanded field is a priority. So we have to update that and have town council approve it. And they approve it via resolution. So that'll happen on February 1st. At that same time, town council will approve, hopefully, a resolution to apply for the FBIP grant, which we have applied for and been successful in the past for the expansion of the mooring field. The timing is of the essence because DEP wants to basically, in tandem, approve the updated harbor management plan and the permit, give us both back at the same time. We need the DEP permit, the grant application. The grant application closes April 6th. So that's why timing is of the essence when it comes to this updated harbor management plan and the language that has been added. We've used coastal engineering consultants to draft the language, and they're overseeing all of these permits and applying for them for the town. So also to that same note, so we get the harbor management plan updated and approved, get the resolution for the grant approved, and apply for it. Once DEP issues the expansion permit, then they close that file, okay? Then we'll go and apply for the Bayside Park marginal dock and potentially finger pier. If we went ahead and wanted to go ahead with Bayside, we would have to start the process all over again. That's why we want to close out the expansion and then apply for the Bayside Park permit. The grant, what we anticipate requesting is it's $150,000 construction and CEI. It's a 50% grant match. So then the town would have to put up $75,000. And of course, that would be next fiscal year if and when we were awarded, and we would have to request the funding from council. So there's a lot of steps that have to be taken, but this you all reviewing this harbor management plan simply for the expansion is important. That way we can tell council you all did see it and did have, input into some changes. I know Doug emailed me some other comments. I'd love to incorporate those, but I want to do that after we get the expansion passed. So does anybody have any questions?
When I came in, the harbor management plan, I had sent some suggestions to Chelsea, and what we had when we originally came in didn't have those in it. And then the young man's name that brought them out to us incorporated the changes. Because the one big change that I wanted to make was, it was titled Matanzas Mooring Field Management Plan, and I said it should be the Matanzas Pass Mooring Field Management Plan, because Matanzas doesn't really mean anything. And on the NOAA chart, it's designated as, that area is designated as Matanzas Pass. So that was corrected. The one other thing that I saw in there was in the agreement, all the way through the one, they took out Anchorage and put in facility. Did everybody see that? In the contract, instead of being the Anchorage Advisory Committee, we were the Facility Advisory Committee. So that has been changed, because that shouldn't have been changed. I think it was just kind of a word find or whatever it was that happened. The one thing that didn't get done is kind of a little thing, I think, is on page 10, number 6. The second to the bottom, it talks about physical jeopardy to the facility, facilities. I think the second, the facilities should be taken out. I mean, it's just a wording thing. That didn't get done, but I mean, if that's still in there, it doesn't really change much. I don't know if anybody else saw
Well,
it.
there's the Anchorage facility maybe refers to the equipment at the Anchorage, and the other facilities include everything else, maybe?
I mean, it's probably doesn't need to be, but I mean, it just, I don't know. But at least I think on the second one that we got today, Matanzas Pass Mooring Field, I think is good, and then the thing in the contract were the biggest things that I saw we needed to get done. I don't know if anybody else saw anything, this initial thing to be done. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to be done in this again. Doug is probably not aware that we spent a long time doing this a couple years ago, and there are always continuously going to be things to update.
Understood, yeah. I emailed a few comments, but they're more wording.
Yes, yeah. And
Materially change it.
I think most of us were here when we did the redo a couple years ago, and that was a big deal when it was done in 2007. And then I think there are always wording things that can be accomplished, but
The one that they sent out, the only mention of the committee was to arbitrate complaints. I wonder if that's still true in the same, this final
that was not changed. Okay, when Chelsea and I spoke last week, here's my notes here that I took then. Essentially, what needed to be done, what was really done, was changing from Anchorage to facility, because what they're trying to do is to combine for the DEP permit the mooring field, the dinghy dock, and the new mooring field. Well, Anchorage doesn't really address the mooring field, the dinghy dock. So they were trying to get a word to encompass 3 land leases into one. which is, so they changed Anchorage to facility and updated in the number of mooring balls. Took out the one grandfathered thing. And that was really all that was changed.
That's correct.
And the wording was changed. I don't have my original permit here, but it originally said Town of Fort Myers Beach Municipal Harbor Management Plan. So instead of having the harbor management plan, they changed it to Matanzas Mooring Field, but it should be Matanzas Pass Mooring Field, really. So that was my suggestion, to put the pass in, which they did. So those were the things that were really changed. Nothing really was changed except for some wording. Oh, Chelsea, do we need to say we approve this with those changes to go to council?
If you would, please.
Okay. Is there any more discussion?
To accept the harbor master plan,
Those changes?
those changes.
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. All opposed? Okay. Is there anything more on this other than that?
Yes, I have one other thing. So part of the whole permitting and grant application is we have to put signage out in that new proposed expanded area. And so that process, we have to go through FWC and do an application to put signage out there. So we are working on that as well. I believe that's all we have for now. Just so everyone knows, there are 2 grant opportunities out there. It's the FBIP and the Big P, both of which we have successfully received in the past. The difference between the 2 is the FBIP, the Florida Boating Improvement Program, is a state grant. The Big P, which is the Boating Infrastructure Grant Program, is federal. So, of course, we want to do the easier of the 2 and do the FBIP. Now, in talking with Coastal Engineering, the concern was that this will be the 3rd year in a row we have applied for FBIP grant funding. And that I was hesitant because they may not give us the funding, because this would be hopefully the 3rd year that we could be successful. They pointed out there's another county on the other coast that has received nearly $500,000 in the last 2 to 3 years FBIP funding. So I'm confident that if we do put this application forward, that we will have success. Knock on wood. So I just kind of wanted to give you all that food for thought.
Anything else? Okay, let's move on to Upland Service Provider update. The discussion of this is going to council tomorrow on the M&P agenda. Roxanne, you have an update, maybe?
Well, I've spoken with the town attorney, who has reviewed the condo docs and has some reservations regarding them. And I heard Roger indicate to you that the committee, he just wanted to forewarn the committee that that was happening, that these reservations were going to be expressed. I don't know to what level of seriousness he will be expressing those. Just to give you the idea that if the council takes those reservations seriously, that idea then may have to look for something else. I'm not saying we will, I don't know that yet. But we just wanted to let you know so that it didn't come as a shock to you later on.
Will that be broadcast on YouTube tomorrow?
Yes.
Thanks. So we can watch that.
People can't attend, is that correct? Or we
You can attend, you can't make public comment.
Can't make, which is why I went to the meeting yesterday.
But you can attend.
Right. Because we were hoping it would be on the agenda on the 11th. It was not, and it was not on the agenda yesterday. But the meeting is actually, let's see, it's tomorrow at 10:30. Is that correct? The MNP?
I believe so. We've got a meeting before that, so I just know when I've got to get here, and it just goes on.
The meeting before that is with you and the chairs of the
Chairs of the
committee, which I am
committees, yes.
attending as well. And I'll review a little bit more with that.
And I believe it
later.
wasn't on yesterday's agenda because official council meetings are for voting on things.
Right.
They wanted to give this proposal to the council to discuss without a vote, and so that's why it's on a management and planning, which means it won't be voted on, just discussed. But you sometimes get some indication of where things are going, if they're going downhill or not.
Roxanne, can you make sure
To
that they
chime
turn
into
on
that,
YouTube?
we did have a conference call with Harbor House, Doug, the HOA president, and their attorney, with our town manager, our town attorney, and myself. I believe our town attorney was drafting or was going to draft his legal opinion on the items that were discussed, such as the parking spaces, fees and such, and to better prepare council for their discussion.
Just a question, if there are issues, is it able to be negotiated at all? Or is it what it is and that's where it is?
That's according to how the condo association reacts to our concerns.
What are those concerns?
I'll find out, well,
I'm not privy to all of them. I know one of them is the fact that originally everyone who owned a condo in the building had a parking space. And early on in the life of the project, the condo board took away the parking spaces from all of the commercial tenants, except for one, got to keep one. So that's two levels of concern to me. A, that we would not have a parking space for our employee to park, go down there. B, that the condo board found it appropriate to take away the parking spaces from commercial tenants just made no sense to me whatsoever. If anybody needs a parking space, well, of course, the people who live there do, but so does a commercial property. So
Would an employee not be able to park across the street in the public parking?
you have to pay for it
Why,
unless
how
it was,
much would that be?
don't know.
I can't imagine it would be a significant amount.
I'm giving you examples of
Right,
concerns.
and I'm just, I hear these things, and, well, I'll hold my thoughts.
Roxanne, since you're going to be at all these meetings, can you please make sure that they start them on YouTube? Okay on that? I have to call every meeting. I have to call. We usually miss public comment or something. I talk to Donna or somebody out there. She
I
comes in
don't
and
know
has to
that it's
remind them.
us that delays it being loaded. We start it, but it doesn't necessarily get the beginning of the meeting downloaded. It's there later if you want to watch it.
Okay.
But I
It's
don't
been
know
an
that,
issue for the
my
first 10
understanding
minutes
is that
of
it's
every
not
meeting.
us.
Okay. Maybe if they started earlier, I'm not sure. They started earlier,
Then we would have a whole bunch of dead space on the beginning of the meeting when people go back to watch it later.
okay, well, we miss public comment almost every time. The first 10 minutes, we miss basically the first 8 to 10 minutes, just for future.
You
Thank
can watch it on the town's website. That's where I always go to watch it.
Okay, turn it on live, expect it to be live.
It's live on the town's website. Besides using YouTube, you can go to the town's website and watch it.
That's not video, that's audio only.
No. I
There's-
watch it. I've gone back to watch it, and video
I
is
mean,
there.
later, I'm talking about live. Okay, if you could just try to start it on time, that would be helpful.
I understand your concern. And I'm sure they're listening back there.
well,
You can always go to the local channel on your TV as well. I think it's channel 98.
Yeah, I don't have that anymore.
so since you can't vote tomorrow,
Right.
We would still have, we won't have a meeting before you would vote, probably,
I'm guessing that that's the case.
if it goes on February 1st or something.
I don't know for sure. I don't know what will happen tomorrow. It could be that the council will say, we need to investigate this further and put it off for 2 months before they vote on it.
Yeah.
I can't predict what they will do.
Right.
I know there are other concerns besides the parking. I gave that as an example.
Right.
And like I said, it's a two-level concern on my part. I don't know what the attorney thinks, but it's not just the parking space. It's the fact that the board acted in such a way that gives me pause.
What else can they change?
Yes.
That's the level of the authority of the board of the
Yes.
decisions that only own, I understood it right, we own 2 condos, we only have however number there.
Right.
So we,
A lot of things don't go to all the condo owners to vote. A lot of major matters are decided just by the board, which I think is just 3 people. Yeah.
Well, we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. My concern, we've been working on this for a couple years, and, the staff did do some looking for other property, which in general is way too expensive for us to even look at. And we've had this discussion too, so, we'll have to wait and see, and I'll try to tune in or the discussion and find out what the points are, because I'd be interested in knowing that. That's what the issues are, and if we think that we can deal with that or live with that. I guess that's what the discussion is
Like I
going to
said,
be.
a great deal will depend on how the board responds if and when we make our concerns known to them.
Right. Okay. Any other discussion? Bob, do you have any thoughts? Okay. All right. So, strategic plan, communication plan. I don't really have anything. I haven't really looked at that. Other things we've been talking about other things. Do you have any updates or things about agenda item? Member items and reports. I'll start. There is a meeting with town council and the chairs of the committees tomorrow. And I submitted just what we're working on, which is the upland service. We were asked to submit, items we were working on that we might discuss or bring up. And I put that, the upland service provider, expansion of the mooring field, and then I said, we receive reports about various items, doing with the mooring field and staff report, derelict vessels, those kinds of things. That's kind of what we do kind of all the time. I'm not really sure what's the plan with all of this, but we were all supposed to at least have things that we were working on, and we'll go from there and see what happens.
Maybe bring up, since we have the new finance director, Walter Pierce, maybe,
Finance
Yeah.
reports?
he'll probably be there, and maybe,
I'm not sure, because it's town council and chairs of
Okay.
committees, so I don't know.
we're gonna get a summary of it looks like he's updating everything with like every department.
I doubt that he'll be present because they are undergoing their audit. The outside auditors are present, going through our records. So
He's working on everything, isn't he?
Yeah.
We'll get some kind of update in the next couple months of what he's been doing.
And 2, if finance in the past has not necessarily done a monthly report every month like the rest of the departments have. And this, Mr. Pierce is making it a point to put out a monthly report with the rest of the departments, which can be found on the town website. I think it's kind of just generic, but you all can see what he's undertaking stepping into his new role. So, and again, if you have specifics, email them to me, and I will work with him. Like Roxanne said, he's getting his bearings, but there are some other issues that we have to get done first, like the audit and close out of year end. But once those are tamed, we can get his attention focused on producing some data out for you all.
Guess I'll just chime in once more. I don't know if you caught the end of the meeting yesterday, but I specifically praised the report, the monthly report that I got last month. It was the best monthly financial report I had seen as far as being understandable to someone who is not a numbers person. So I am optimistic that we are going to get better information in the future.
Are there any other concerns that, I don't know, as I say, I don't really know what this meeting is going to be, if we're supposed to bring up concerns that we have. Don't know either. I just know we're meeting.
I would bring them up. This is your chance to communicate with council.
Right.
So
anyway, that's my member item report. Greg, do you have anything?
I'm fine.
Sam?
Yeah, just to backtrack to the expansion, I was looking at, on the field report here with the picture of the field on the front, page 3, where it's actually got the balls identified. I'm looking at the markers, and it seems like the markers extend to the end of the right-of-way, and then at the end of the channel they don't. Is that just the way they put them in there? The top left one, the green 11 marker, is not all the way to the end of the right-of-way. Maybe it's just because the channel's wide enough there that they don't need it to be all the way to the end of the right-of-way.
Looks like they're locating existing channel markers.
Yeah.
Sam, I'll have coastal engineering look into that and get me a response to relay to the
Okay,
committee.
the only thing I see that is between, the only reason I bring it up is between marker 15 and marker 13, on the way out, hugging the starboard side of the channel there, it looks like if you go to from marker to marker, I see they have a yellow, what is the yellow indicating?
That's enclosing the mooring field. Those
Okay.
are boundaries of the mooring field.
So if everyone stays to the outside of that, they won't cut that corner. So that cures what I was looking at. I was just looking at from 15 to 13, a straight line would intrude on the mooring field. But if they have if they're gonna put something where the yellow specials are, it won't cut into the channel.
If you look at our existing mooring field, we do have special purpose buoys that outline the mooring field, and I'm pretty sure that that's what's represented by your yellow triangle, or your yellow diamonds.
Yeah, and that'll keep out what I was worried about, cutting that corner.
Yeah, it'll be a visual reference of guiding the channel.
That's it for me.
Ed, do you have anything?
I do not, thank you.
Doug, do you have anything? Bob?
Oh, everything's good.
Mike?
Nope.
All right. Chris, anything from you in public comment? No.
I do.
Oh, Chelsea?
I just wanted to let you all know, the sheriff's office has done a tremendous job in the last month or so at removing any derelict vessels from our waters. And I do get reoccurring emails from them. So I just want to give kudos to them. I know that, they're working tremendously hard at cleaning up the back bay and getting the derelict vessels removed. And that is a lengthy process, but they are making large strides in cleaning up our waterways. So.
Great.
All right. Meeting?
Like Wednesday, February 17th.
And I would say same agenda, as we're kind of just getting updates on much everything that's here. So, for a motion to adjourn.
Sam, I move to adjourn.
Second?
Thank you.
Second it?